How many times have you felt your focus slipping away, like your mind's been hijacked by impulses you never even chose? It's as if one part of you wants to work, study, create, but another part keeps getting dragged down by distractions that feel impossible to resist. Social media, pornography, endless visual stimulation. Everything's been sexualized to capture your attention, and the result is always the same. Drained energy, shame after giving in, and that invisible emptiness you carry inside even if no one else sees it. But here's the detail almost nobody tells you. There's a real way to free your mind, and Jung was already talking about it long before the internet even existed. Your mind has been programmed for quick pleasure. Every click, every notification, every sensual image was designed to hack your dopamine and keep you trapped in a loop of arousal and frustration. It feels like you're choosing, but in practice, you're the one being chosen. You know exactly how it goes. You've spent hours on the infinite scroll, thinking you were relaxing, only to end up feeling empty, unproductive, and stuck with that bitter sense of wasted time and energy. And precisely because you've lived this, you need to hear what comes next. There is a way out. Today, I'm going to show you, step by step, how to truly desexualize your mind, reclaim your focus, and build a life with real purpose. Have you noticed how everything today seems to revolve around the same currency? Body, validation, and instant pleasure. It's like the world's been programmed to poke at the same instinct over and over again until you're left without real choice. Jung used to say that if you don't learn how to direct your own psychic energy, you end up ruled by your lowest instincts. And it's not hard to see that. Just one social media feed is enough to steal your focus, your peace, and even your identity. The problem is this digital bombardment isn't innocent at all. It's a well-orchestrated project, almost like a dopamine factory, pushing visual and sensual triggers non-stop. The easy click, the brutal comparison, the unreachable standard. You think you're just scrolling, but in reality you're feeding an invisible prison. That prison drains your creative energy, weakens your discipline, and sabotages your sense of purpose. And the results show up fast. Your productivity tanks. You catch yourself putting off important tasks, missing deadlines, and even making up excuses to justify the time you've wasted. It's like your mind's been trained to chase nothing but instant gratification. Ever noticed how after hours online, all you're left with is that cocktail of guilt and anxiety? That's because your energy was wasted on tiny doses that never satisfy, only drain you. This cycle seeps into your relationships too. The logic of online validation starts shaping how you see other people. Shallow connections, hollow encounters, and unrealistic expectations built by screens. You start measuring affection by likes, interest by quick replies, and love by performance. And that creates a brutal emptiness, because none of that really feeds your soul. It's like drinking salt water. The more you consume, the thirstier you get. Deep down, you know this dynamic comes with a heavy cost. It's not just the wasted time, but all the opportunities slipping through your fingers. Projects that never get started, skills you don't develop, doors that could be open if you had stayed focused. Meanwhile, your mind grows tired, heavy, and foggy. It's like trying to run a marathon with rocks in your pockets. Constant drag that keeps you from getting where you could be. But here's the curious part. That emptiness, that sense that something's off, isn't really the enemy. It's a signal, a call from within, almost like life itself pushing you to wake up and take the reins. When Jung talked about mastering instincts, he didn't mean repressing them, he meant redirecting them. And maybe that's exactly where the key lies to flip the script. But before you figure out how to do that, you need to see the root of the problem from a whole different angle. What if I told you that the same energy you waste on compulsions could actually fuel that new language you've always wanted to learn? Think about it. How many hours have already been swallowed by endless scrolling? Now imagine if that time had turned into daily English practice, guitar sessions, or even workouts. The discipline you've been chasing doesn't come from motivation. It comes from redirecting that invisible powerhouse you already carry inside. Why is it that you can't seem to stay focused on what matters? It's not just laziness, and it's definitely not lack of talent. It's like trying to run on a treadmill that never shuts off. Digital stimuli are designed exactly for that. The result? Your mind lives in fragmented mode. You start an email, open another tab, reply to a message, then circle back. At the end of the day, you've been busy nonstop, but nothing truly moved your life forward. Now, close your eyes for a second and picture a day where you wake up without reaching for your phone. You drink your coffee in silence, jot down 3 clear goals in a notebook, and go straight into action. Simple? Yeah. But that practice alone shifts your body, your mood, and even the way you deal with people. It's like switching lenses. Suddenly, you can see what was always right in front of you, but now it's sharp, not blurry. And here's the curious part. That clarity gives you more energy than any energy drink or coffee ever could. It's like your mind stops leaking fuel in 1,000 different directions. Think of a funnel, pour water into it, and it all channels into one point. But if that funnel's full of holes, you can pour liters and nothing will gather. What you're looking for isn't extra strength. It's sealing the leaks that drain your vitality day after day. This even spills over into your relationships. Ever noticed how easily you snap when you're drained? Or how you avoid deep conversations because you just don't have the patience? When your energy's compromised, even a family dinner feels like an obligation. Now flip it. Imagine actually being present, listening without rushing, laughing without faking a smile. That's the difference between living screen to screen and living face to face, eye to eye. And if this line of thought is already cracking something open in your mind, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment telling me which country you're watching from. It's inspiring to see people all over the world chasing the same kind of freedom you are. Because deep down, we all want the same thing. Clean energy, real purpose, and relationships worth having. And here's the twist. There's a little-known path that leads there. And it's about to reveal itself. The logic that shapes your desires is the same one that shapes financial markets. Edward Bernays, Freud's nephew, discovered he could inflate emotional bubbles, convincing people to consume not for what they actually need, but for what symbolizes power, status, or belonging. Just like a stock price rising on hype, your mind's been trained to value stimuli that have no real worth. In the end, you pay a high price for something that never delivers dividends. Today, algorithms repeat the same game, only with absurd precision. It's like a government manipulating public opinion during an election. They don't give you information, they give you a narrative. Your feed is the campaign, your likes are the votes. You think you're choosing, but really you're being steered. Each notification works like a candidate's promise. It feels like a quick solution in the moment, but it leaves a void once the hype fades. The result is a fake sense of freedom. It's like a soccer team that passes the ball around the whole game but never takes a shot. You feel like you're moving videos, posts, messages, but on the scoreboard of your life, it's still 0 to 0. The illusion is thinking productivity means being busy, when in reality you're just stuck at midfield with no direction. It's a prison without walls. You're running, but you're not going anywhere. And this bleeds into your appetite for bigger projects. Writing a book, starting a business, learning an instrument. All of it feels dull compared to the adrenaline rush of infinite scrolling. Your brain has turned into a fan hooked on replays. It only knows how to enjoy itself when there's a goal every 30 seconds. But real life isn't a YouTube highlight reel. It's a full season. It takes practice. It takes patience. And that's where most people quit. That's why the first step is a mental detox. Just like an athlete cuts junk food to get back in shape, you need to cut shallow inputs for a few days. Swap endless feeds for a walk alone. Trade quick clips for a high-quality podcast. Read 5 pages of a book that stretches your mind. It might feel like heavy training at first, but that's exactly what it is. Conditioning your focus. And think of your mind as a household economy. Everything you consume is an investment. If you're pouring capital into toxic assets, meaningless memes, toxic comparisons, sensationalist headlines, the return will be anxiety, distraction, and confusion. But if you invest in solid assets, good conversations, nourishing content, intentional silence, the return will be clarity, vitality, and purpose. In the end, the garden you harvest is nothing more than the reflection of the portfolio you chose to build. The first question that comes up is inevitable. But how do I actually do this mental detox for real? Because it's one thing to talk about it, and another to actually put it into practice when your phone buzzes in your pocket or when the habit's already on autopilot. The secret isn't cutting everything off at once, like ripping a root out by force. It's about creating smart substitutions. If you usually wake up and open your feed, swap it for 10 minutes of journaling instead. Sounds small, but it sets the tone for your whole day. Desexualizing the mind isn't about repressing desire, it's about repositioning energy. You don't kill a habit just by saying no. You create space so a new habit can take its place. Want a simple example? If your escape valve has always been random videos, replace it with movement. Go for a walk, hit the gym, do something that makes your body spend energy in another way. The instinct's still there, but now it's working to strengthen you, not sabotage you. And don't fool yourself. Regaining focus isn't an event, it's training. Just like you don't build stamina with a single run, you won't recover clarity with just one attempt. A powerful practice is what I call micro-presence. Instead of trying to meditate for 30 minutes, start by paying full attention while brushing your teeth or washing the dishes. These little anchors train your brain to come back to the present. Another practical step is building friction barriers. If you know you fall easily into certain content, make access harder. Put passwords on apps, set time limits, remove shortcuts from your home screen. Sounds silly, but every extra second of effort is enough for your brain to snap back into awareness and decide with more clarity. It's like putting the cookie jar on the highest shelf. It doesn't solve everything, but it makes you think twice. Presence is also built through the body. Ever notice how after a good night's sleep, your focus is naturally stronger? That's why you need to take care of things that seem secondary, but are actually central. Sleeping well, staying hydrated, eating balanced meals. If your body's at war, your mind can't be at peace. Small physical wins are fuel for bigger mental victories. Over time, you'll notice something curious. The more discipline you bring into this process, the lighter it feels. You start finding joy in things you used to overlook. A slow conversation, reading a book without rushing, even the silence at the end of the day. It's like retraining your taste buds after years of eating fast food. At first it feels strange, but then real food is what tastes good. And that's exactly where the next question arises. How do you sustain this without slipping back? The first stage is reclaim, taking back your inputs. That means stopping the habit of feeding on whatever's thrown in front of you and actually choosing what goes into your mind. A good test is to open your phone and ask yourself, which accounts truly feed you and which ones just drain your energy? Cutting out pornography, muting pointless notifications, and even unfollowing pages that constantly throw comparisons in your face is already a huge step. It's like swapping fast food for homemade meals. It doesn't just change your mental health, it changes your appetite. Next comes retraining your focus. There's no magic here. You've got to relearn how to sustain attention. 5 minutes of meditation a day might sound like nothing, but it makes a difference. And it doesn't have to be that formal lotus position style. It could be as simple as sitting on your porch, closing your eyes, and noticing your breath. Think of it like teaching a dog to stay. At first it jumps, barks, gets restless, but with training it learns to remain. Your mind works the exact same way. The third stage is redefining your goals. Without clear objectives, you become easy prey for any distraction. But when you've got something concrete, learning a language, saving money for a trip, running a half marathon, every no to distraction turns into a yes for that future. That's why writing your goals down on paper and keeping them visible matters. Sounds silly, but it's like having a map on the road. Without it, you just end up driving in circles. And here's a bonus most people underestimate: the body. Exercise, vitamin D, sports, walks outdoors, socializing in the real world. These all restore vitality in a way no screen ever could. A simple 20-minute walk can reduce anxiety and reorganize your thoughts. Add in some sunlight and a real conversation, and the effect is immediate. Your body is the ignition key for your mind, and most people forget that. The secret lies in small daily habits. You don't need to become an athlete or a monk to regain focus. What you need is consistent choices. Swapping late-night scrolling for light reading, replacing 10 minutes of TikTok with stretching, calling a friend instead of just sending a message. Simple gestures, stacked over time, bring presence back. It's like saving coins. One day you look at the jar and realize you've built a treasure. And when you apply this method, something curious happens. Your mind stops being your enemy and starts working in your favor. Silence no longer feels uncomfortable. Your days gain rhythm, and productivity flows more naturally. You feel like you're in control, not because you cut everything out at once, but because you learn to filter, train, and redirect. But there's an even deeper layer to all of this, and that's exactly where the next revelation lies. You're not a hostage to your desires. You're the observer who can shape them, who decides where your energy goes. The more you desexualize your mind, the freer you become to use that force for what truly matters. Building, creating, forming real relationships, and living with purpose. Freedom isn't about repression. It's about redirection. Now I want to hear from you. What's your why? What truly motivates you to take this step? Drop a comment with the first practical action you'll take to start desexualizing your mind. Your decision might inspire others who are fighting the same fight. If this video made sense to you, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell. And tell us which country you're watching from. It's amazing to see people around the world seeking the same things. Clarity, purpose, and clean energy. And don't forget, if you want to learn how to turn your energy into real power, stick around and watch the next video showing up on the end screen.